Hi everyone. In daily life, toxic people can appear anywhere, at work, among friends, sometimes even within family. But smart people do not allow someone's bad behavior to turn them into someone they are not. They continue to be kind but firm, gentle but strong. They do not change their good nature just because someone else chooses negativity. They know that maintaining their character is more important than winning an argument. Smart people also realize that sometimes the best response is distance. My name is Muniba Mazari, and I am motivational speaker. If you like this content, then you can appreciate me by like, subscribe, and comments. Now, move on to topic. In life, you will not always meet kind hearts and pure souls. You will encounter people who bring negativity, who try to drain your energy, who question your worth, and sometimes even make you doubt yourself. But smart people know something very important. Not every battle is worth fighting. When a toxic person tries to pull you into their storm, a smart person doesn't fight back with anger. They don't shout louder. They don't try to prove anything. They simply stay calm, stay quiet, and protect their peace. It is easy to react. It is natural to want to defend yourself. It is human to want to scream back when someone throws harsh words at you. But real strength is not in loudness. Real strength is in silence. Real strength is in controlling your reaction. Imagine standing in a room full of noise, and instead of adding to the chaos, you simply walk out, closing the door behind you. That is power. That is wisdom. And that is what smart people do when they face toxic behavior. Responding with silence doesn't mean you are weak. It doesn't mean you accept the disrespect. It means you value your peace more than temporary satisfaction. It means you understand that toxic people thrive on your reaction. They want your anger because your anger feeds their own emptiness. But when you refuse to give them what they want, you take away their power. When you stay calm, you show them and yourself that you are bigger than the storm they are trying to create. Sometimes the best response is no response. Not because you are afraid to speak, but because you have nothing to prove. You know your worth. You know your truth. You know who you are, and no toxic word can change that. Smart people realize that arguing with a toxic person is like trying to clean dirt with more dirt. It only makes the mess bigger. So instead, they choose the higher road. They stay quiet. They walk away. They protect their heart. Think about the river. The river does not stop flowing because of a few rocks in its way. It simply flows around them, continuing on its journey. Smart people are like that river. They don't let small minds stop their big dreams. They don't let bitter hearts poison their own. They stay focused. They stay kind. And most importantly, they stay true to themselves. There will be times when silence feels heavy, when you will want to shout, to cry, to explain. But remember, silence is not emptiness. It is full of strength. It is full of wisdom. It says everything words could never say. Your silence will protect your dignity. Your silence will protect your dreams. Your silence will save your soul from drowning in someone else's negativity. You are not made to fight every battle. You are made for bigger things. Your energy is too precious to waste on people who cannot see your light. Smart people know that true revenge is success. True revenge is inner peace. True revenge is a life so beautiful that toxic people cannot touch it. In the end, people will remember your silence more than they will remember your shouting. They will remember your calmness more than they will remember your anger. Because silence, when used wisely, speaks the loudest truth. It shows that you are in control, not of them, but of yourself. And there is no power greater than mastering your own reaction. One of the greatest lessons smart people learn early in life is to set boundaries. Not walls, not cages. but healthy, strong boundaries. Because not everyone deserves a seat at your table. Not everyone deserves access to your mind, your energy, your heart. Boundaries are not about shutting people out. Boundaries are about protecting the beautiful garden inside you from being destroyed by those who don't know how to treat it. Toxic people are like storms. If you leave all your windows open, they will come in and destroy everything you've built. But if you know how to close your windows, lock your doors, and protect your space, the storm can rage outside, but it can never touch what is sacred inside. This is what setting boundaries looks like. It is the quiet courage to say, this is how far you can come, and no further. You don't have to be rude, you don't have to be cruel, you just have to be clear. Smart people understand that if you don't set boundaries, people will walk over you, not because they are evil, but because you gave them the permission to do so. When you teach people how to treat you, you teach them your worth. You show them that you respect yourself, and in turn, they'll learn to either respect you or stay away. Setting boundaries is not selfish. It is self-care. It is self-respect. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot be kind to the world if you allow yourself to be broken again and again by people who don't even value your presence. Protecting your peace, protecting your time, protecting your emotions, these are acts of wisdom, not acts of cruelty. Sometimes setting boundaries looks like saying no when you usually say yes. Sometimes it looks like walking away from conversations that drain your soul. Sometimes it looks like choosing silence instead of explaining yourself again and again to someone who doesn't even want to understand. And sometimes it looks like simply loving yourself enough to choose peace over chaos. It takes strength to build boundaries. It takes even more strength to maintain them, because people will test them. Toxic people will try to guilt trip you, manipulate you, make you feel like you are wrong for protecting yourself. But smart people know the truth. Anyone who gets upset when you set a boundary was only benefiting from you not having one. You are not here to be a punching bag for someone else's anger. You are not here to be a dumping ground for someone else's insecurities. You are here to shine. You are here to love. You are here to live fully and beautifully. And to do that, you must first protect your light. Boundaries are how you tell the world, I know my value. I know what I deserve. I know what I will allow and what I will not. Boundaries are not about hating others. They are about loving yourself enough to walk away from what harms you, even if it comes disguised as love, friendship, or loyalty. Smart people do not allow toxic energy to steal their joy. They build fences of kindness, doors of wisdom, and windows of compassion. They allow the right people in and keep the wrong ones out. They understand that peace is not something you find outside. It is something you build inside. And boundaries are the bricks that hold that beautiful home together. One of the smartest things you can do when facing toxic people is to master the art of staying calm. Toxic people thrive on reaction. They feed off drama, anger, and chaos. The more you react, the more powerful they feel. But when you stay calm, when you respond instead of react, you take away all their power. Calmness is not weakness. Calmness is strength under control. It is the quiet confidence that says, I will not let your behavior dictate my peace. Smart people understand that reacting in anger only invites more negativity. They know that losing their temper doesn't hurt the toxic person. It hurts them. So they choose to breathe. They choose to pause. They choose to rise above. Imagine standing in front of a mirror. When you smile, the reflection smiles back. When you frown, it frowns back. Toxic people are like broken mirrors. They adjust themselves and move on. They don't shout at their reflection. they change the angle of their own light. When someone tries to provoke you, understand that it's not about you, it's about them. Their anger, their jealousy, their bitterness, it all belongs to them. You don't have to carry it. You don't have to catch the ball of anger they are throwing at you. You can simply step aside and let it pass. Staying calm doesn't mean you agree with the toxic person. It doesn't mean you are letting them win. It means you value your peace more than you value winning a useless argument. It means you have matured enough to know that every battle is not worth fighting. Some battles are won simply by not showing up. There will be moments when your heart will want to scream, when your pride will want to respond sharply. But in those moments, remember, silence is powerful. A calm smile is powerful. Walking away with dignity is powerful. Smart people know that their energy is too precious to waste on proving a point to someone committed to misunderstanding them. Every time you stay calm, you are telling yourself, I respect myself too much to be dragged into chaos. You are protecting your energy, your mental health, your emotional well-being, and trust me, that is a battle worth winning every single day. In a world that often teaches us to shout louder to be heard, staying calm is an act of rebellion. It's a reminder that true strength doesn't shout, it whispers. True power doesn't dominate, it stands firm. True wisdom doesn't argue, it understands and moves forward. So the next time a toxic person tries to pull you into their storm, don't fight back with anger. Be the calm in the storm. Be the stillness that they cannot disturb. Because when you remain calm, you don't just protect yourself, you inspire others too. You show them that there is a better way, a stronger way, a wiser way. Smart people understand the value of setting healthy boundaries. They know that loving others does not mean allowing themselves to be mistreated. They realize that kindness does not mean being a doormat. They have learned, sometimes through pain, that it is not selfish to protect their heart, their mind, and their time. It is necessary. Boundaries are not walls. They are not about shutting people out. They are about deciding what is acceptable and what is not. They are about choosing how close someone can get to you, how much of your energy they are allowed to consume, and how they are permitted to treat you. Setting boundaries is about saying, I love myself enough to stand up for my peace. Toxic people often dislike boundaries. They are used to walking over people who are too afraid to say no. But when you start setting limits, when you start valuing yourself, you send a very clear message. You can no longer disrespect me and stay in my life in the same way, and that is powerful, that is life-changing. It can be uncomfortable in the beginning. When you first start saying no, guilt may whisper in your ear, doubt may creep in, you may feel selfish. But remember, protecting your space is not selfish, it's survival. You are not responsible for fixing everyone. You are not responsible for carrying someone else's emotional baggage at the cost of your own happiness. Imagine you have a garden. You plant beautiful flowers, your dreams, your peace, your kindness. If you do not put up a small fence, wild animals will trample all over it. Not because they are evil, but because there is no boundary to show them where to stop. In life, your soul is that garden. Boundaries are the fences that protect what you are growing. Smart people know who they allow into their inner circle. They are friendly, they are kind, but they are careful. They understand that not everyone deserves a seat at their table. They do not let toxic behavior stay just because of history, guilt, or pity. They choose their mental health over uncomfortable loyalty. You don't have to announce your boundaries loudly. You don't have to explain them to everyone. Boundaries are felt. They are seen in your actions. your silence, your calm refusal to engage in negativity, they are seen when you stop answering every message, when you stop explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you, when you choose to walk away from conversations that steal your peace. Setting boundaries does not mean you hate others, it means you love yourself. It means you recognize that you are worthy of kindness, respect, and dignity. It means you are finally showing yourself the love and protection you have always deserved. There will be people who don't like your new strength. Let them go. There will be people who accuse you of being too distant or too harsh. Stay firm, because at the end of the day, it is your peace, your life, your heart that you have to live with, not their opinions. Protecting your energy is not a one-time event. It is a daily practice. It's waking up every morning and reminding yourself that your time, your mind, and your spirit are sacred. It's choosing again and again to stand for yourself, even when it's hard. And in doing so, you don't just survive toxic people, you thrive despite them. Smart people know that they cannot control how toxic people behave, but they can always control how they respond. That is where their real power lies. They don't waste their time trying to change people who are committed to misunderstanding them. Instead, they work on mastering their reactions, mastering their emotions, and protecting their peace. Not every insult deserves an answer. Not every rumor needs your energy. Not every attack deserves your attention. Smart people understand that engaging with toxic behavior only drags them down to the same level. They refuse to give away their peace of mind for a pointless battle. Instead, they choose the higher road. The road where silence speaks louder than 1,000 angry words. Silence is not weakness. Silence is strength. It takes real courage to walk away from someone trying to provoke you. It takes wisdom to realize that your peace is more important than being right in every argument. There is so much power in saying nothing when someone expects you to lose your calm. Sometimes the loudest answer you can give is your quiet dignity. Smart people also know how to choose their battles. They do not fight every criticism. They do not correct every lie. They do not try to fix every broken relationship. They understand that some situations are not worth their mental energy. They value their time too much to argue with someone who is determined to misunderstand them. You see, when you argue with toxic people, you give them what they want: your time, your energy, your focus. But when you stay calm, when you stay focused on your goals, you starve them of the attention they crave. You keep moving forward while they stay stuck in the same negativity. Think about a lion walking through the jungle. The lion does not turn around every time a dog barks. The lion keeps walking, knowing that barking dogs cannot touch its greatness. In the same way, smart people don't let small-minded negativity distract them from their bigger dreams. They stay focused, they stay grounded. Mastering your emotions does not mean you become cold. It does not mean you don't feel pain. It means you learn how to feel everything: the anger, the hurt, the betrayal, and still choose to respond with strength, not weakness. It means you honor your feelings but refuse to be controlled by them. It means you become the calm in the middle of every storm. It is not about suppressing your emotions, it is about channeling them wisely. When toxic people try to pull you into their chaos, you don't match their chaos. You hold on to your peace, you hold on to your vision, you hold on to your dignity, and sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to walk away, not because you are weak, but because you are strong enough to know that not every battle deserves your presence. Your energy is your currency. Spend it wisely. The more you practice mastering your emotions, the less power toxic people have over you. Their words lose their sting. Their games lose their effect. because you are no longer reacting from a place of hurt, you are responding from a place of strength. That is what true wisdom looks like. That is what real power feels like. And that is how smart people keep moving forward no matter who tries to pull them down. One of the greatest strengths smart people have when dealing with toxic people is understanding when to let go. They do not cling to unhealthy relationships. They do not hold on to people who consistently hurt, manipulate, or disrespect them. They understand that loyalty is a beautiful thing, but loyalty to toxicity is self-destruction. Letting go is not a sign of failure. It is a sign of wisdom. It is a sign of self-respect. It is a declaration that you value your peace, your growth, your happiness more than you value the approval of those who are determined to bring you down. Smart people choose themselves, not out of selfishness, but out of survival. There are times in life when holding on hurts more than letting go. Times when trying to fix a broken relationship only leaves you broken. Times when trying to get love from someone incapable of giving it only empties your soul. Smart people recognize these moments and they choose to walk away with their heads high and hearts open to better things ahead. You don't have to announce your departure. You don't have to explain yourself to everyone. Sometimes your silence, your absence speaks louder than 1,000 words. You simply stop watering relationships that were never meant to grow. You step back, you heal, you rise. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It doesn't mean you hate the person. It means you care about yourself enough to stop allowing their toxicity to define your days. It means you choose peace over chaos, growth over stagnation, freedom over fear. Imagine you're holding a burning rope. The tighter you grip it, the more it burns your skin. Letting go of that rope is not weakness, it is wisdom. In the same way, holding on to toxic people burns you slowly, deeply, quietly. Every moment you hold on, you are hurting yourself. Smart people see the flames early, and they choose to release the rope before it destroys them. In life, we sometimes confuse history with destiny. We think just because someone has been in our life for years, we owe them a lifetime of loyalty, even when they treat us badly. But the truth is, some people are only meant to be chapters, not the whole story. Holding on to them only delays the beautiful future waiting for you. Smart people do not allow guilt to chain them to toxic patterns. They forgive. They wish the other person well from a distance, and they move on. They understand that letting go is an act of love. Love for themselves, and sometimes love for the other person too, because enabling toxicity helps no one. And when they walk away, they don't carry bitterness. They don't carry anger. They carry lessons. Lessons about who they are, what they deserve, and how strong they have become. Every ending becomes a new beginning. Every goodbye becomes a redirection towards something better. Letting go is painful, yes. It stings. It leaves empty spaces. But those empty spaces are where new blessings can enter. Spaces where healthier relationships can grow. Spaces where your soul can breathe again. Smart people trust that what they lose is never greater than what they are about to gain. They know that when they close the door on toxicity, they open the door to freedom, to peace, to happiness, to growth. They choose to heal, they choose to rise, and most importantly, they choose themselves boldly, unapologetically, beautifully,